So welcome along to the next video in PodTips Pro's 5-part podcasting course. This is part 1B, if you like. Like I said, there's 5 big parts, but each part has a separate video underneath, taking you through a different stage. So we're still in the planning stage. Last time we went through sort of picking out your podcast idea. We scored it, we did some research. So you should have that little list. If you don't have that list, then do go back and watch that first video. It's really important. This one, however, is going to be on validating your idea and finding out, will it work? And this is an important stage that people tend to miss out. And it's such a really, really important stage. We've been through the areas of taking a few ideas, looking at different elements and whether that's a good one, scoring that with the idea scoring sheet. If you didn't download that link to the idea scoring sheet is with the last video. So by now you should have narrowed down to at least one idea you're keen and confident with. So the next stage is to validate that idea. People don't think about this. They don't think whether the idea will work, whether the fans of your topic would listen to a podcast, or if the format would work for that particular audience. This again can lead to burnout early on, and we're really trying to help you avoid that. Now, just a note to say, I'm not saying that validating an idea is necessary for all podcasts. If you are simply recording a podcast, which is family updates as an MP3 to send to loved ones, then validating it may not be necessary, of course. Although it still might be worth checking if your loved ones want to know about little Jimmy's first twos, or even find out if they know how to download a podcast or listen to an MP3. And that's exactly what I'm talking about when I say validation in broader terms. But before I get into that, there's a couple of things I want you to bear in mind. And these are really important. You might disagree with me on them, but trust me, they are super important. So bear in mind, don't ask your friends and family what they think, unless you're creating a podcast for friends and family. But more times than not, they will tell you it's a nice idea because it's coming from you and they don't want to rain on your parade or upset you. And instead, get input from strangers, online communities, and most importantly, people that are already in the communities or that are fans of your topic or subject area. So the first thing to bear in mind is don't ask your friends and family what they think, but don't tell your friends and family that I said that because they'll come looking for me. The next thing to bear in mind is have a bird's eye view. When you have ideas, try to stand up from them, reflect on them from an impartial viewpoint. It's very easy to make assumptions or only look for one view in your research of an idea simply to justify that idea. Now, if you have an idea that you love, but especially from the first video we just did, all signs point to it being a bad idea, don't ignore those warning signs. You're going to make real hard work for yourself. Step back, take a walk, write the idea in a different colour or massive on an A1 bit of paper, anything that lets you step away from the idea, disconnect your passion and analyse it with a bird's eye view. And that might be that you need to walk away from it for a little bit. I get really carried away with new ideas and I love every idea I ever come up with, so I need to have something, and I have something in my email inbox, whereas I email that idea to myself and then I have a folder called waiting room and I stick that idea in there. Unless it's something that really, really needs to happen right now, which most ideas are not, I put it in there and then I revisit it in a couple of days. And that gives me the clarity of thinking, actually that's a good idea, actually that's a bad idea. Was I just getting caught up in that whole excitement? And this is the bird's eye view I'm talking about. So that's the things to bear in mind. Just going to go through now how to validate your idea, the different areas we're going to look through. And the first is, you need to survey audiences. You need to put questions on social. Use an actual survey like SurveyMonkey, or even use social media polls just to survey your audience, find out if it's what they want. Next, research what else is out there. If you're not finding competitors, are you looking hard enough? I'm pretty sure there probably are. Who are the subject authorities in that topic area? What blogs or books are there out there already for that topic? And is there evidence to show people want more on the topic? Like I said in the last one, look at comments and questions on those. Find out if people are asking for more, if there are things missing in what's already out there. What communities are out there for this topic? So if people are engaging in communities and they're fans that have set these up, it's a really great indication that there really is passion for it out there and that there's probably a want for more. So look at what communities are out there for this topic. And next is a bit of a marketing-y word. I do love my digital marketing, I'm afraid. So I've used this, but I'm going to explain. So release a minimum viable product, sometimes called an MVP. MVP, minimum viable product. Easy for you to say, right? So an MVP is something that a lot of marketers use. However, it can be easily something that you can create as a podcaster. So the premise is that you create something that's cheap and easy to do to get an idea of whether it'll work. So before you get an expensive microphone, which we'll talk about later, but you probably won't need, or before signing up for a $20 a month podcast hosting site, or buying a big recording device, or paying huge amounts for a recording software, or whatever, any of these things, record something first on your smartphone. Make it low cost, but great content. Focus on the content that you would use in your podcast. And then you can simply put it out there in communities on a free platform. You could put it on as a Facebook video or on YouTube, somewhere you can just test the water with your idea before you pay out any money. And that's exactly what this validation process is. Test your idea with people who would actually listen before you invest loads of time, money, blood, sweat and tears. And that's what goes into podcasting. And that's super important. Test that idea, do the research, and then release a minimum viable product. Test your idea with people who would actually listen before you invest loads of time, money, blood, sweat, and tears. So that's video 1B, if you like. I've got to come up with a better system for numbering these. But in this video, we went through validating your podcast idea. And it's so important. If you see your fellow peers skipping this video in PodTips Pro, make sure they go and do it because it is super important. Next, we're going to talk about the different podcasting formats. There are many out there, and we're going to run through them in the next video. So I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, as I said before, comment below this video, drop a question or anything, or just a comment in the PodTips Power community, or on the PodTips free community as well on Facebook, anywhere you like, or you can find me anywhere on social. I'm sure I'll be happy to have a chat with you about it and help you out.